you know, it's not enough hours in the day. Or you know what? There's not enough days in the year. Apparently, because Dehancer reached out to me about a year ago asking me to review their product, and here we are. But hey, better late than never, right? Over the years of me filming weddings and just getting into more films, I definitely can notice more of the difference between film and digital. And I've come to appreciate the look that film gives, and how film has such rich colors and grainy look, and I don't know, it just feels timeless. And Dehancer has created a way for you to take digital footage and turn it into something that feels more organic and cinematic. I'm no professional when it comes to coloring or film emulation, so keep that in mind as you watch this review. So the first thing you'll notice when you drop the plugin onto your clip is that inside of the plugin is a ton of different adjustments that can be made. The first adjustment that needs to be made is the input. This is where you define the color space of your footage. If you shot in log formats such as slog3, clog, clog3, and you want to convert it to Rec 709 for proper contrast and color, and Dehancer will handle the log Rec 709 conversion for you. Typically, I prefer to convert my footage using phantom LUTs to ensure all my clips match well in color and tone. This is great for consistency across multiple shots and cameras. However, I will admit Dehancer's conversion is really nice too, especially when aiming for the authentic filmic look right from the start. Once your footage is converted, you can select from various film stocks to apply that unique film look. I'm not going to act like I'm familiar with any of these, but personally, I found that Kodak Vision 350D is my favorite and is one of the more popular film stocks. It's a daylight balanced film stock that offers a natural, softer look for greater color accuracy. This makes it ideal for outdoor or well-lit scenes where you want clean, cinematic vibe without overly saturated colors. Film developer, it affects the contrast, color response, and tonal range of your footage, giving it a unique look you'd get from real film development. It's like adjusting how the film reacts to light during a development process. With Color Boost, you can adjust the saturation, you can add back a little more contrast if you want to, whatever you gotta do to get the footage a little closer to what you want. Film compression allows you to adjust the dynamic range of the image by expanding the black and white points. It's great for controlling the tonal contrast, making your footage feel more cinematic by manipulating the extremes of light and dark. I'm very impressed with the way it allows the highlights to be pulled back a little bit, making it seem like it has a higher dynamic range. Expand allows you to adjust the dynamic range of the image by expanding the black and white points. It's great for controlling the tonal contrast, making your footage feel more cinematic by manipulating the extremes of light and dark. The print setting emulates how your footage would look once it's printed on photographic paper. It affects the contrast, color density, and tonal reproduction. Think of it as the final touch to make your footage feel like it was processed through the film print stock. I personally don't use this effect very often as I feel like it adds too much contrast into it, but to those their own. Color head, this mimics the analog way to adjust colors in film prints. You can adjust the balance of red, green, blue, giving the precise color control of grading. It's like adjusting the color temperature, but with a more creative flexibility. Film grain is probably the feature that Dehancer does the best. It offers these awesome set values that will emulate the different film stocks. What's so great about this is that Dehancer looks at every individual pixel to make it feel less like an overlay and more like actual film. Halation is the effect that recreates the reddish halo you'd see around bright highlights in real film. It's caused by light bouncing between film layers and adding it to your footage, giving it a more organic, authentic feel. Bloom simulates the soft, glowing effect around bright areas, creating a diffused highlight like what you'd see in actual film. It makes the footage feel dreamy and atmospheric, adding depth to the scenes with strong lighting. Film damage introduces effects like scratches, dust, and other imperfections to make your footage look aged or worn. It's perfect for achieving that vintage dressed aesthetic as if the film has been through years of wear and tear. Film breath mimics subtle variations in exposure and color from frame to frame, recreating that natural inconsistencies of real film. It adds slight flicker or fluctuation, which gives your footage a more authentic analog look. Gate weave adds a slight jitter to the footage, mimicking the movement of film through a projector or camera gate. It makes the footage feel more like it's being played from an old film reel, adding that analog charm. Overscan expands the frame beyond the normal area, revealing parts of the film reel or negative that would typically be cropped out. This adds imperfections and further enhances the authenticity of your footage by showing areas beyond the intended frame. This is stuff that you can typically do with overlays, but Dehancer does a really nice job of giving you a bunch of options. Vignette darkens or lightens the edges of your frame, mimicking how real lenses or film might react to light fall off. It helps guide the viewer's attention to the center of the frame and adds a subtle cinematic touch. False color is great for making sure that your skin tones and areas of the frame are exposed right where they need to be, as well as clipping to see what parts of your frame the blacks and whites are peaked. The output is just the overall impact that the effects have on your footage, so you can decrease it like it's a LUT that you're decreasing the intensity on. Overall, I think Dehancer is an incredible plugin that just makes your footage come alive. It gives you that real, authentic film vibe with all the grain, texture, and glow that makes your videos feel more cinematic rather than this cheesy overlay. It's different from an overlay because it doesn't just add a layer on top of your footage, it actually simulates the entire film process. Overlays are like stickers. They sit on the surface, but Dehancer works from within, recreating how real film reacts to light, color, and imperfections. It's perfect for anyone who wants their digital work to have that timeless analog feel. The only downside that I've noticed is that it requires a little more computing power and render time, but they have significantly improved that over the past few versions. So if you can just be a little more patient, I think it's well worth it. If you're looking to give your videos more depth and character, I can't recommend Dehancer enough. It's seriously a game changer.